Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm going to unbox this WE Galaxy G series. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing, because that interaction helps my channel get seen by the algorithms and helps boost me, which helps me grow, and I'd appreciate that immensely. There is a link down below to all my socials, including my Discord, and memberships are open. Join button just down here. It's 99p a month for bloopers. They have now got their own first official members only video, which is a tour of the Pheas Cave. It's 99p a month, totally optional, but massively appreciated if you do join that. So today then we've got the WE Galaxy GBB, which is a bit of a clone stroke rip-off of the AAP. Now, I'm going to try and limit the comparisons I draw in this video directly to that, because I have got a separate video coming out next week that is a comparison between this and the AAP and the Armour Works VX0200. So then this little bad boy is between 125 and 130 pound, depending on where you get it from, and I will link to Airsoft World where we got this from. In terms of the box then, we've got WE Galaxy GBB, we've got the G series, it's obviously Glock based, in black, and there's not an awful lot else on the box at all, quite plain and simple. So let's flip that open. So inside then we've got a fairly nice blown up diagram of how everything more or less goes together, which is pretty cool and handy for maintenance and replacement of parts. Get rid of that. We've got a little bit of a manual in there, just showing you some basic usage, loading mags, that kind of stuff, and switching firing modes, and a little target as well, and some safety. Slight interruption. And so we've got in the box then, we've got, after the manuals, we've got the two rails to go on it. We've then got the pistol itself and its mag inside. So I think that's everything in the box. It is. We'll get that out of the way. So 125 to 130, we've got an alloy top, which is quite nice. It does make it feel quite weighty. It's just, I think it's 0.89 kilograms, so just short of 0.9 of a kilogram, or most of a kilogram. You've got at the front here, you've got a removable cover that gives you a 14mm negative thread, which is pretty nice, meaning that all of those accessories that you want to mount can go straight on there. We've got a front fibre optic sight to collect the light, and you can see it there lighting up quite nicely, catching the light and feeding it back. We've then got a traditional sort of rear sight there to line up with it. Now, based on what I can see there, I would suggest they're probably quite easy to remove, and we've got the mounting holes for the top rails to screw in, the top rail to screw onto, as well as mounting holes underneath for the other rail to mount onto, which I do quite like actually, that although it doesn't look amazing with rails mounted onto it, it does give you the option of, from the outset, that you can have your little RMR RIS mounted, you know, a torch can go on there quite easily, and I'll fit those in a minute and have a look at those. So moving to the back then, we've got our charging handle, drop the mag out, which also, flip it over, doubles up as our selector. So when we're to the right hand side like that, we're on single, and when we click over to this side, we're on the on full auto, and it's just a case of flicking it back again. In it goes, and off it goes quite happily. So we've then got our polymer lower, which we'll have a look at separating in a minute, and obviously I'm going to hold that down. Now, this in theory should be much more gas efficient than the Armour Works that we've had before, or a traditional Glock, because it's powering or driving a much smaller sort of bolt. There's no big heavy slide to power with it. So in theory, these should be much more gas friendly, as it were. We have got a clickable safety there that stops you pulling the trigger. Obviously, you would hope it would do for a safety, and click it back forward again. Famous last words. Okay, you can get it. You're gonna have to bring in the pen. There we go. Couldn't even do it. Definitely not doing that with gloves on, am I? So to get to the hop unit then, pushing a button and it splits, and it is, I really dislike this, it's this little tiny screw down here. Now you can't even get to it easily unless, at this point, unless you push out the front pin like that and then lift off. And the tighter you screw that in, the more hop you're applying. So this is a bit of a painstaking, laborious process to sit and set your hop and get it ready to shoot, ready for a match. And then you put your pin back in, push the button in, and it clicks back in. So you then got your two-stage trigger. So if I pull on that part, it shouldn't do anything. Then I pull on that part, it does. So you have to pull both parts. And I do like that the middle bit is colour coordinated. Colour coordinated is a different colour, a standout colour to make it easy to see as you pull in that. Mag release then drops out nicely. The stippling on the lower, which is polymer, is quite nice, makes it quite nice to hold. I'll be honest, it feels quite nice. It's a touch heavier than the Armourer Works Glock. You feel like you've got something substantial in your hand. In a holster though, on your hip, it's probably going to feel quite a chunk of weight to be throwing that around. Plus all the mags to go with it as well if you're running multiple mags. If you're going to run it as a primary, it feels much more at home as a primary with the weight of it, in my opinion, obviously. Excuse me. So we'll drop that out. We'll have a quick look at a couple of accessories on it, and we'll mount the rails as well. So in terms of wobble, there's a tiny, tiny little bit of wobble. Put the mag in. There's very, very little wobble going off in there at all. Generally, it's finished quite nice. A little bit of grease coming out from inside the internals, which I'd expect because you've sort of got openings. I would have thought if you're going to run this a lot in pouches, you're probably going to get a lot of dust build up under here. So it's probably going to need a fair bit of maintenance, as any gas blowback would in general. The magwell itself as well, although not flared, isn't difficult to get your mag in. It's quite easy to locate and go. So that's been quite nice. So let's have a look at these rails then. You get two different rails, one to go underneath, one to go on top, and you get the appropriate tool as well and screws to do it. So they are little tiny hex keys. Now, looking at those two are definitely threaded. That one, I can't see any thread on it. For the purposes of this, I'm going to definitely do the front two because I can see that they're threaded. I'm not going to do the back one because I don't think I can't see the threading clear enough, and I don't want to damage it. So that's that one tightened in. Now, already this is sort of changing the look and the dynamic of it. I can't make my mind up if I like it with the rails on or not. It's definitely not horrific, but it's going to be one of those personal preferences things. So I'll put that on there. Now, all three of those are clearly threaded, so I assume the other one is on the top as well. So drop that in there. You're just dropping it in. Once you've got one in, use that to secure it down over the other holes and then drop the other ones in. Tight that down, nice and easy. And then the fun can begin a little bit there. Right, okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the torchlight. Now that doesn't go quite on as far as it would on a traditional Glock like it did on the Armourer Works, just because this sort of extended part of the lower here is in the way. So I'll move that out in a minute. Let's have a look. In fact, I'm not sure. Oh, we might just, no, that's not going to get. We'll try it with the Osprey and we'll try it with the tracer. So the tracer then, 40mm negative. To be fair, I quite like that actually. Even with the top rails on, move that back. Won't actually go far enough back to click into place onto the next rail. It's stuck on the first one, which is not uncomfortable, and I can get my finger there to click it on, but it's not the most perfect or ideal situation. But that combo is looking pretty cool. I do like that looking combo. So leave that on. Let's see what we can do with the Osprey. Oopsie-daisy. Did I actually just say that? And then I can't even get, the torch is in the way, I can't even get it down to the threads. So I'm definitely not going to be able to mount the Osprey on this if I'm running the flashlight. So we'll take the flashlight off just because I'm sure everybody wants to see a giant beefy suppressor on the front of it. Now the beauty of this is that this suppressor, despite its weight, on a traditional gas blowback pistol, I would expect to cause some issues with pulling down on the slide on the outer barrel, which can cause the BBs to catch inside the suppressor. Now with this one, because the slide isn't moving, just the charging handle, the small bolt at the back, you can run bigger, bulkier, heavier suppressors on this. And I'm not gonna lie, who doesn't love that? That looks ace with that on, or at least in my opinion anyway. Everybody's opinion is different, but I think that looks absolutely awesome with a big, bulky 45 cal sort of long, heavy suppressor on there. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll take that off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and do the shooting test then. We'll do the usual chrono, we'll do the range, we'll check mag compatibility. So for in terms of mags then, I've got the included WE Galaxy, I've got an AAP mag, I've got a Raven, which is supposedly part of WE CO2 mag, so we'll try that out. We've got a generic ACM, I suspect it's KJ Works, Glock mag, and we've got a Tokyo Marui one as well. So I'll see you in a second and we'll see where we're at. About 18-19 rounds a second. I think 300 is more consistent. Claiming 31. I think. So we're back from the shooting test then. So the range was about 40 plus meters. The tree that's directly in front, you can't see it because of the time of day I'm shooting, but you can see the tracers. It was hitting the tree. That is a minimum, absolute minimum 40 meters away. I've measured that with a laser finder from the exact point where I shoot every single time. It is absolutely 40 meters minimum. I've no doubt that this would have done over 40 meters. What I did find was it was inconsistent, where the BBs were just sort of drifting off one way or the other. Now, the information online says it's got a 110 millimeter inner barrel, and it's got, I couldn't find what kind of diameter it is, but everything seemed, well, the few comments I found seem to suggest it's a 6.05. If you do know specifically, I would be interested to know what the standard inner barrel diameter is of that. But the general consensus seemed to be, the three comments I found was 6.05. So on 144A gas then, we were getting about 270-ish FPS. My chrono is playing up a little bit. I'm not sure what's going off with that. I might need to get another new one, which is a shame because I replaced my Mad Bull with that one and it's not been quite as good as the Mad Bull used to be. And about 19 rounds per second according to my chrono. Great. So green gas then was about 330 FPS-ish roughly. And the room I set, this is all done using 0.2 gram BBs in about a 19-degree room in an evening. So getting about 330 at the top end. Obviously those FPSs all come down as the gas is being burnt out through the mags and being fired through it. Now, We then hit an issue where basically it cycles, but it just doesn't, other than the first shot that you rack, something is not right with the blowback unit, and it is just not shooting other than the odd BB now and again. And I've had a look inside the sort of feeding rod, is it, that pushes the BBs out of the mag and into the hop unit, is absolutely fine, and it will rack the first round absolutely fine. But there is a noticeable change in sound from the first shot to the shots after that, where it's just not cycling far enough. So I suspect there is an issue with the blowback unit, which I'll be honest has not impressed me massively. That I've had a little bit of a play with it and it's behaving like that, which is not good. Before I did the official shooting test, I did, because I'm impatient, did do a little bit of a tinkering. So I can say that the TM mag did not, the Tokyo Marine mag didn't work with this for me. It just vented instantly, which wasn't great. The ACM mag fed, but unfortunately I haven't got footage of any of this. It fed inconsistently in terms of FPS. It was up and down the FPS. The Raven mag worked lovely and fed lovely and was very, very crisp. I dare say potentially over UK limits for FPS. The AAP mag also worked nice, as well as the as well as the WE mag as well. So I'm a little bit disappointed, a little bit annoyed with it. It's, you know, sort of, especially considering that this is like 125, 130 pounds for the pistol, and it's gone that quickly. It's had less than 100 BBs to it. I'm a little bit disappointed. So we will briefly just do the glove test. To see what it's like. Now, pretty much like any pistol, I would expect that I can quite easily operate the mag catch, releasing the top slide when I change the mag. The safety, I ain't got a chance. I've got no purchase on that safety whatsoever at all. But, you know, it is what it is. I can, in terms of the top slide, if I got a tool, I could definitely remove that and adjust the hop unit, so I'll be quite happy with that. Let's drop that mag out before I put that back down. I am happy in general that I could operate that with gloves on with ease. I can remove that quite easily. Now, in theory, this has been done and it seemed to come out in line with the AAP 01, or rushed out after the AAP 01. Potentially very similar design, but it just, I feel like it's not up to the AAPs. I don't know yet. I'm you know, the next video we'll look at it properly next, but I'm feeling like this is not the better product. I'll be honest. It's not terrible, other than, well, the fact that it broke past this as it is, but that's a different story. So I'm not massively impressed. Unless you really like the looks and the rails that come with it and stuff like that, I'm going to say I think you're better off putting your money elsewhere. In all honesty, in the obvious other choice of this styling. As far as I'm aware, it's fully Glock compatible internally for aftermarket parts and stuff like that, so you can chuck things in there. And I believe there's a few different kits and things like that that have come out that are compatible with it, like the EU series stocks and stuff like that. So if it floats your boat, fine. I think it's a bit too expensive for what it is, especially considering that mine is broken and it's going to have to go back to the retailer to see what I can do about that. So I will leave the usual photos of it dressed up a little bit at the end. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe to help me get seen by those YouTube algorithms and help the channel grow. And I will see you next time. Bye.